I am so excited to dive into another conversation with a certified brain game coach, Leah Scott. Thank you for joining me today, Leah.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. So, tell me a little bit what life was like before you ever took the brain game.
I was thinking about this today, um, and the person in the past is like, I don't even recognize her. I'm like totally different. Um, yeah, I'm very much changed. I've grown. Um, the emotions aspect was that's where I just drowned, was in my emotions, and now
Mhm.
it's totally different. Yeah, I can't imagine going back there, and I know it's not going to happen because I've brain gamed, right? So
Yeah, I think that's what I love the most about the brain game is the transformation that occurs, right? It's not just learning some
yeah,
information and then you go about your day and you fall back into old habits, but you actually change.
exactly. You do.
I love that. So, what's life like for you after the brain game? Now that you've taken it and you've changed, how do you experience your life now?
Oh, in possibility,
Hmm.
my life is like, it almost felt like a cloud had been lifted. Like it felt like there was a dark cloud on me all the time because I didn't know how to deal with how I was feeling. So now, when life happens, things come up, emotions come up, but you know how to direct them. You know how to deal with them,
Hmm.
and you have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice. I love that. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it does feel like a dark cloud lifts, right?
it
If all
does.
of a sudden it's like, whoa, the sun comes out.
Yeah,
That's so good. I love it.
it's
So, what
amazing.
would you say is your favorite thing about the brain game? And I know that's not an easy question to ask because there's so many, but what's your favorite thing?
I was thinking about this today. So the feeling wheel is definitely was a game changer for me.
Hmm.
But also the fact when I heard about triggers, I was just like, "What's that? What's a trigger?" And then when I heard about it, I was like, "Holy moly!" Like I had that blew me away. And then among other things, the mirrors. Like I can't tell you one thing, but
It's
but
all of the things.
yeah, everything. But the emotional part of it was I'm not the same person
Oh,
for sure.
I love that so much. And I see that in you. Just knowing you for the last year, I've definitely
Yeah.
seen that in you. It's beautiful. So, what inspired you to teach the brain game? Why did you want to become a brain game coach?
Because I want to help people grow and help people learn how to deal with their emotions.
Hmm.
Um, we all have emotions, and like me, I didn't know how to deal with them. I felt like there was just no way out of it.
Right.
Um, so the ability to help people um, get out of that loop,
Hmm.
that's empowering for sure. To be able to
Absolutely.
help others and help them see that there is a way to feel
Yeah.
better and have possibility and yeah. So
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's so important for all of us. You know, we go through this major shift and the lights come on and the dark cloud lifts and it's almost like we have a responsibility to share that with the world that, there's
absolutely.
a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
good.
and it's I found that I got my power.
Hmm.
Like I felt like had no power before, but now I've gained that power to over the emotions and being
I
able
love
to
that.
deal with
Continuing with the storm reference, instead of being a leaf tossed about by the wind, now you're the strong, sturdy tree in the storm, right?
that. I am.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about your experience in boot camp. What was boot camp like for you?
I loved it.
Hmm.
And when you're going through the boot camp, you're also going through the brain game as well. And then no, boot camp was awesome. I look forward to it every week because I knew I was going to learn something different.
Yeah.
And I knew it was that stepping stone to help others. I knew I was doing something that was amazing. And I knew it was a passion of mine to help others. So I loved it.
I love that. Beautiful. So what was it like during boot camp when you went to teach your very first session of brain game? What was going through your mind?
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this. But it's fine. I taught my good friend Martha, and it was great. You know, you're nervous, of course, but once you get through that first session, you feel excited because you're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've noticed that with all of the students is that very first session is just like, oh, and all your stuff comes up and all the, I don't know if I can do this. And then always after every session, the first one, everybody's like, I did it. And it's this huge celebration. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, because you went through it and you were in transformation going through it. And then you think when you're in boot camp and you're ready to teach your first session, you're like, wow, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to help people. So that was, yeah.
I love it. So then you went through the 10-week process of teaching it and through all the business training in boot camp. What did it feel like when you finalized that last session with your student? What was it like teaching week 10?
It was transformational for me too, as well as her. And I mean, a little sad, right? Because you've ended it, but at the same time, you're hopeful for them, and you know that they've been through the brain game, so it's a no-brainer.
I love that. Yeah, and I
yeah.
think I noticed that with almost all students. You get to week 10 and there's this sense of sadness because the journey is complete, and yet the sense of hope because what's next, and also knowing you've got everything you need now. Your toolbox has all the tools in it for you to move forward.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that. So what would you say to anyone who's considering becoming a brain game coach? What would you say to them to help them make a decision?
Oh, just how many lives that you're going to change.
Yeah.
Like when I say that, it just tugs my heartstrings because it changed my world. So if I can help, or if they can help anybody, just go for it. You won't regret it because I can't say enough about it. It's an amazing program.
I love that. I think my cat has agreed with you too. He's coming to hang out. He's like, everybody should brain game. I love it. So tell us, Leah, what is your big dream for brain game?
To get it out far and wide, out into the world, and just, I want to help as many people as I can. And then, the more coaches that we get, the more it's going to get out there. That's definitely. And I think as well, I have kids of my own, but how important this work would be for, kids or teens, 13 and up, 12 and up. Once you learn about those emotions and you can deal with them, it's a life changer.
It is life-changing. And you're not the first person who has said that as a coach. To be able to put this into the hands of our youth is so powerful. And I always think, if I'd have known this when I was 16 years old, my life would have looked a lot differently, right? But yeah, we all go on our own journey. And I think it's just so powerful that we have the ability to teach our youth these tools.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Especially.
Beautiful. Well, Leah, thank you for sharing some of your experience with us. I appreciate you coming on today. And
Yeah.
yeah, anything that you would say to anybody who's not taken the brain game yet, what would you say to them to inspire them to change?
Inspire them to change to take the brain game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Inspire them to change within the brain game.
I would say, I don't know, just take it week by week and ask questions. Really delve into the material. As I said earlier, my mind was blown with some of the material in there. So yeah, just put your whole self in there and just do it.
Just do it. I love it. Just do it. Awesome, Leah. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate this conversation. And thank you for sharing Brain Game into the world. I think it's just so important. And I'm honored to mentor you and help you move it out into the world. So for those of you who are looking to work with Leah, just let us know. We'll make sure that there's a link to book with her. And if you are interested in becoming a Brain Game coach, let me know and you can apply to get certified and join us in bootcamp.
Right.
Thanks, Leah.